Hey guys, I was gonna hop on here. There's a lot of people here. All right, hey, let's create selfie videos. All right, let's get a selfie. Practice. You know me.
Are you John?
Yes. Go in and meet the candidates and.
Wanted to let you know Misty Collier's running for mayor.
Man, tonight could get good. All right, we'll see you inside later, guys.
I'm trying to revive this.
So to start kicking off, we have Misty Collier. If you'll come up, keep on your close to the stage. And Jason Herrick. And Cole Stanley.
This first question is for Jason Herrick. Question 1, if you are elected as mayor, please explain a 3-step plan to the voters of how you will govern within the first 120 days in office to bring growth and revenue to our city.
Jason Herrick, I'm running for mayor, so thank you for the question there. So, look, our city has been mired in controversy for too long, and frankly, part of that problem has been that we are not taking care of our resources. So we talked about it earlier, but we're paying a city manager nearly $1 million to not to manage. We're paying an AEDC director not to direct for $300,000 a year. And look, I went to Texas A&M and we paid Jimbo Fisher $76 million to not coach. Listen, that doesn't work in city government, and it's not okay for that deal, and it's not okay for this. We're wasting our resources in this case. And part of that problem is because we've created a level that's around, we don't have enough transparency, and that really means communication, ultimately. And so the problem is that we're expecting our citizens, and we would hope that our citizens are able to come and listen, when we can go listen to what they're saying. And when they're asking us to say, look, we need to have information on snow removal, what timely fashion that is. When we're going to have issues where we're coming up and saying, hey, you've got to go fix potholes that are out there, and are we getting to those things? We've got to be answering those questions. But we haven't been doing that. And so we've got to communicate better. We've also got to go find out that we've had these controversies that are out there. And frankly, we've got a problem in that sense that we have not given the trust for the city to go out there and stay in a private environment. And frankly, we can't keep doing that. And we have to have a situation where we start to allow, and unfortunately what has happened is we've brought in the veil of an attorney-client privilege. And we can't do that. That's $350,000 that's being spent on an attorney-client privilege, and they're hiding under that veil of that. We've got to stop those things. So when we're going to talk about our 3 items, we've got to increase communication. That means going out and having town hall meetings and listening sessions for our folks. We've got to go in and we've got to terminate the relationship with George Hyde and move on from that. We've got to stop hiding under the veil of client attorney privileges, and we'll work on infrastructure as a plan. Thank you.
It goes to Cole.
So same question. Okay. I greatly appreciate the question, but I want to start with the concept that someone would show up in a very liberal sort of way and say, elect me, and then I'll tell you what my plan is. And so we can't do that. What we have to have is we have to continue to stick to the game plan. We have a game plan. It's called Focus on Core Services. And it's called Run That Budget Like It's Your Own. And that's what this council has done. This council has shown up and said, no, there is room in the budget to reprioritize. You can always do better with what you have. This is Amarillo. We are full of grit and determination. We're an industrious people, and that's what you've seen us do with that budget. We didn't identify $29 million in last year's budget that we were able to reprioritize to get those first responders those $10,000 raises by being worried about shiny things and taking our eye off the ball. It's about core services. It's about public safety and infrastructure. I would like to say that my plan is different than Mr. Herrick's plan. His plan is to raise your taxes. He believes your taxes are too low, and that without increasing those tax rates, that he's not going to have enough to provide. My plan is the opposite. I've already identified excess reserves that are in your current budget. Our reserves are roughly double, at minimum, what they need to be. And so we currently right now are reworking the financial policy, and we as a strong council aren't afraid, once again, to take Mr. Hyde, who I've spent $186,000 on so far. His ROI was $2 million in last year's budget. Part of that $29 million was his idea for the $2 million and how we work those interdepartmental services. We've been working really hard, and we are finally a good return on your investment. We know that budget inside and out, and that is the plan. You keep those gentlemen that are hardworking individuals with those conservative principles. Thank you.
Can you just restate the question for me?
Yes. If you are elected as mayor, please explain a 3-step plan to the voters of how you will govern within the first 120 days in office to bring growth and revenue to our city.
Thank you, and I appreciate all of you coming here, and I appreciate both of these candidates sitting next to me. One thing I'd like to say is that the biggest problem with politicians is that they think that the people exist to give them position, but the position exists to give the people freedom and power. And within the first 120 days, I do have a plan. I would like to return our city charter back to the original constitution. I would like to halt all UN agenda, all global agenda, and I would like to focus on small businesses. That's one of my biggest problems with the AEDC, is they do not focus on small businesses. They have a couple of rinky-dink programs that focus on small businesses. They give all of your tax dollars to big businesses, and they don't help small businesses at all. And I have more faith in our community that we have really intelligent people that have built really great businesses here, and I think they could do better and make a bigger difference in this community than any other community. And I think we need to focus on those people. And I think some of these entities that haven't been held accountable need to be held accountable. Thank you.
This question is for Misty Collier. The citizens voted against the bond for the Civic Center in 2020. Do you think that needs to be revisited? And how would you make the case we need to place that expense on the voters in the future?
I do not think that needs to be revisited. The biggest problem with our city is that the citizens' voices are not being heard. We petition our council, and they're supposed to protect us from the corporation. And I feel like 90% of the time, we get small answers and no real solutions. Alex Fairley did a great job picking that up, and I would leave it where it is. I don't believe we should put our citizens in debt. I believe that we need to create revenue, real revenue, tax revenue for this city, and we need to outshine the rest. We need to be a city on a hill. And that's my answer. Thank you.
So there was a time and a window in time that the Civic Center might have made sense, when there was a different project cost, when there wasn't a wastewater treatment plant that was out there, and we would have had time, there was the luxury of time to put something in place to go help sales tax revenue that could go be applied to infrastructure. Unfortunately, that is not where we are today. We're at a point now where we have kicked our can down the road so far on our infrastructure issues that we have to start addressing those right now. We know already that the state will be shutting us down in 5 years at our wastewater treatment if we do not go out there and take care of that. That means no more jobs, that means no more growth, no more chance to go build new homes, no more chance to put industrial uses out there. And this isn't just a failure of our public service that we don't have the people to go do this. Unfortunately, the problem has been, I don't know why, but we haven't been talking about this issue and talking about what the actual, real, serious problem it is. It's almost like we started talking about this in a surprise fashion in the last 2 months to be saying, listen, we've got an $800 million liabilities out there and we're going to start tackling this now. It's not acceptable. Listen, the city is supposed to go work for you. That means we expect that when we drive, we're going to be able to go and not find potholes, that we're going to be able to go and turn the water faucet on and be able to see water. We're going to be able to go and flush our toilets and expect that it goes somewhere. Listen, we need leadership that is going to come to the table, and we're going to develop a design, implement, and plan a solution that we can go and work on. A hope and a prayer is just not a plan. We've got to go in there and actually do some pieces of this. We don't have time anymore for our wants that were there. We have to work on our needs, and we've been kicking this can down the road way too far. When Cole ran last time, we talked about panhandling. We ignored the biggest problems that were out there. Let's try and go get work on this today.
I'd like to say to Misty Collier, great answer. To Mr. Herrick, great answer as well. That's very, very comforting for us as taxpayers that we're all seeing this the same. Let me address something here. 2 years ago we had a flood. That's the first time that this wastewater treatment plant really came to all of your forefront, your knowledge. We started working on this right away. I've been working on it for a long time. It's insulting to Congressman Jackson, our rear admiral, who got us a $38 million grant fund that is now doing the D&D, the design and development of this. It's well over a $300 million project. We have multiple plans in place, so I won't spend too much time on this, but if we get grant funding, then God bless us here in Amarillo, we're taken care of. If we don't, we're already developing a tier system so that those businesses that need this the most can pay for that. It won't hit your water rate. It won't hit your water bill. But we would have to pay for it. And then we also have private companies that need that wastewater. It's not like it's just waste, guys. That's energy. And so we'll look at all of these options. To the point of the Civic Center, I do need to remind you that the man to my right chaired the committee, the steering committee, that pushed for this, that would have almost doubled your tax rate in an illegal tax note. It was a 7-year tax note. If you run that, that would have been roughly 80 cents from 42 cents. Thank the good Lord for Judge Souter, who corrected this at the level of the court, and then also Mr. Fairley, who stood up and fought for all of us. So Amarillo is not a convention. Amarillo is not a convention town. It's a town founded on family. It's faith, family, and freedom. If we want to get back to kids sports, family, we have everything we need right here. We need facilities, and we can afford those. We don't need a $550 million civic center that only does events. We can do more with what we have, and I thank you for the opportunity to answer that.
Okay, the next question is for Cole Stanley. Question 30. The use of taxpayer dollars is an important issue for voters. There is a concern with funds given to the range by the AEDC on one side. On the other end of the spectrum, citizens are concerned about the money spent on severance pay to the city manager, the CEO of the AEDC, and the police chief. If elected, what would be your approach to both sides of this issue?
Let me start by saying better contracts. So you're watching a council that is having to work within contracts and obligations that we've been handed. Very simply, we can choose to breach those contracts, allow that employee, in the case of the police chief, who is a 143 civil service employee, he has some additional rights. It's much like being in the union. We would have put ourselves in $1 million lawsuit with that gentleman, and we would have lost. He would have come back as your police chief if we didn't agree to separate. And so the agreement of the separation, what was best for the entire community, cost $175,000. That wasn't our choice. That was the choice of your city manager. Now he is our choice. And we put him in that position and we let him do his job because we're not micromanaging him. We do not need power and control. We need to return the power back to you, the voter. With the previous city manager, one of the best decisions that we've made. You see the turnaround of business-friendly environment. Building safety is doing better. You look at the morale with police and fire. You look at how we've got our fire marshals spun up, our fire department running again. We got out of a lawsuit that took 7 years with the fire department. We've done so many things that I don't have time to mention to you specifically. But what I do need to tell you is that when you're looking at the range specifically, Mr. Herrick only has to answer one question. How did you come to possess the range?
Give it back.
The range is a public asset. It was spun up within the AEDC. It's been testified by the candidate to my right that it was seed money. So a $1.3 million asset comes to find itself in the place of private hands. And the worst part about this, what will the range do with the dollars that it goes and gets down at the state or the federal level? They'll disseminate the funds to their own desire.
Yep.
They'll direct it with no oversight, no elected body. That's taxation without representation. That's not Amarillo, Texas.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
The use of taxpayer dollars is an important issue for voters. There is a concern with funds given to the range by the AEDC on one side. On the other end of the spectrum, citizens are concerned about the money spent on severance pay to the city manager, the CEO of the AEDC, and police chief. If elected, what would be your approach to both sides of this issue?
Okay, so I would like to open up the books completely on all public facilities for Amarillo. The range, it is a global agenda. It is tied to contracts and to nonprofits and to grants that I am hoping will not go through, so that it cannot go through. And we have to stop this globalization, the global agenda across the board. People don't realize that even a lot of these grants, like the Biden administration, they passed a lot of these grants through, but Donald Trump's administration is not going to pass some of these grants through, which I know that Cole did address that earlier, that they're trying to do a tier system for that. But some of these agendas that they are passing through, they are not out of the box. They were pre-designed, pre-put into place, and they are corrupt, and they need to stop. And we do need someone with an imagination that can create something good for this city. I believe we need to collaborate with the citizens to create good things for this city, instead of trying to hire someone from somewhere else and paying them mass amounts of money when we have professionals right here that can help us. Thank you.
So I believe in the mission of the range, and I answered the call when the AEDC decided to fund this program. And we modeled this after other communities that were doing similar programs, and they've had success in doing those things. I've been able to participate in that with my company while we've been working with other oil and gas companies, with Excel Energy to go do wildfire mitigation. These are tough issues. These are the issues like water and wildfires and workforce development that they're working on to go do those things. And it's very important. We can't depend on Austin and DC to go do those things. This is what takes our own community to get together and go try to solve these big problems out there. Now, Cole knows that this wasn't the 1.3 part was part that he approved in the budget before we ever come. The real question is did the AEDC have the authorization to move $650,000 from the marketing budget in 2022 down to the project funding mechanism?
No.
And Listen, you don't have to depend on me for that answer, and you certainly don't need to depend on the 30-second propaganda ad for that answer. You can go look and read the CPA report that does it and the law review that looks at it that said they looked at it and it followed the procedure. Now, we do need to make improvements. That does not get out of making improvements for the AEDC. The biggest one we need to do is to make the circle bigger. It cannot be the same people that are working on the AEDC. But by that same token, we also can't have the biggest funder to the mayor to be the all-time forever president of the AEDC. That's not okay either. We have to go out there. The 17 members of the AEDC want to come and talk about the economic projects that we've done. Shame on you for not allowing them to come and listen to all those voices talking about the successes of the economic that's been going on. Look, we need leadership that's going to bring our resources to Amarillo. We have to do this so that our kids and our grandkids have a place to come get jobs, and that's what they deserve, and that's what you deserve.
Give us our money back. Give us our money back.
Stay put for just a second. We have some announcements here, but we want to say thank you to the candidates. You have fulfilled a lot of what we hold very precious in your willingness to participate in the election process, in the competition of ideas, which we think this is what really makes us stronger each and every time we have an election, is the competition. So we want to thank you all very much. I want to give notice to Noxie. Oh, they have a statement. That's right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna hold up on that for just a second. But anyway, we're gonna choose to go from how we're gonna pick the. Okay. All right. So here we are. We're gonna do the closing statements, and Noxie is gonna pick the. Okay. Jason Herrick is going to go first. Closing statement for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Kelly. So, listen, you deserve a city that we can be all proud of. We need a place where we can bring our kids and our grandkids, and they can come back and they have opportunities to go and succeed and build their lives here in Amarillo, Texas. Now, you can get those experiences in big cities, but we want them to come here, and we want them to also enjoy the small town values that we have here in Amarillo. Now, in order to do that, we have to go out and have job opportunities for you. And frankly, we don't have an excuse not to, because we're the crossroads of the country. We have to be a manufacturing, a transportation, and an agricultural hub to come do that. And unfortunately, we have gutted our EDC. We have gutted our opportunity to go bring jobs to this area. And frankly, businesses are looking at our city right now and saying, I don't want to come there, and the pipeline is bare, because we're dragging them through the media and we're denigrating those companies. And if we're going to go do those things, what we really have to start working on first is we've got to work on infrastructure. We know this is a problem. We've got a water treatment plant that we've got to work on. We've got potholes in our roads that we're trying to fix. We have to have those things in place in order to keep people here and to attract new businesses. And finally, we also have to bring in, for you, our healthcare options. We have to have high-quality healthcare options. We shouldn't be sending our most vulnerable patients off to Lubbock and Dallas and Houston to go get their specialty care. We need to be doing that here in Amarillo. Now listen, you deserve a government that works for you. You deserve a better city. And at the end of the day, I'm the only candidate up here that has brought resources to the citizens here. We bring resources that make our businesses better. We're bringing resources that bring our families better. And we're bringing resources that make our city better. Thank you.
Sir? Okay. Thank you. Man, not shame on me or anyone that works as a volunteer. The positive issue here is just grace and peace to you, Jason. Like, man, I love you like a brother, and I appreciate you putting yourself out here, and you're a strong candidate, and I'm loving this rodeo and this race. This is fun. So thank you guys for putting up with us up here. Thank you to everyone who's dealing with Facebook. It's ridiculous. You know what? What's not ridiculous is the question that I asked. You need to answer the question, Mr. Herrick. How did you come to possess the range? You can start telling people that it was a line item transfer, it was approved, it wasn't approved, you had it looked at. It doesn't matter. Even if it had been, why do you possess a public asset? That's what we need to know. I'm a different candidate. And so I stand here before you because I truly look at this like public service. It's service over self. And that means you got to know your role. And so the role of the mayor is not to go work on health care. I'd love it. I'd love it if we had phenomenal health care. I want to attract all of those people that want to live here. But bottom line, the MUD policy that this council has presented will bring those developers to town that they can now build inside city limits and get annexed in, and it takes care of the finance problem that we have in our budget. You got to have houses, you got to have growth, so know your role. Pothole Cole knows his role. Like, I'm fixing that pothole. We got $300,000 pieces of equipment that show up next week. They can do 100 potholes a day per piece of equipment. The roads are going to get repaired. We funded a $12 million deal. We couldn't find the $38 million that wasn't spent by my predecessor. So we're working hard. With your vote and your confidence, I'll keep working hard for you. And we are very satisfied to stand here before you and tell you we've done our best. If it's not good enough, we get it. There's other options. But if it is, I appreciate your confidence and your trust in me once again.
But I am not like either one of them. You need a candidate that doesn't just want your vote today, that they want to be your representative every day. You want a candidate that is going to work for you all the time and not be busy with something else. I am that candidate. We serve you. I have a plan, short-term goals and long-term goals. I work for a nonprofit. I want to eliminate all the trash, and I want to make energy with it or diesel fuel. Which I don't tell everybody, but that is one thing I would like to do for this city. I have given that proposal to the council, and it has been ignored. I feel like the people in this city have not been heard, and I want you to be heard. We are the salt and the light. We need to lead our people into prosperity and freedom. I am an American patriot, and I want to make Amarillo great again. Thank you.
Okay, now. But anyway, Holly has some announcements she's going to make, and then I'll close after that.
Again, let's give them a round of applause. I appreciate it. Just want to remind you that May 3rd, Saturday, May 3rd is the day to vote. And early voting starts April 22nd through Tuesday, April 29th.
And I want to thank my co-moderator, which I guess you might see us on Facebook. We do a podcast, a weekly podcast together called Republic Nation, so check us out there. But thank you, Sarah, very much. Sarah had some great ideas on questions, and so I think we did pretty good tonight. It was a good evaluation. I wish you safe travels going home, and thank you very much.